Hello everyone, it is Suesue and Buster this morning. Yep. I think Boo's inside too somewhere. But anyway, it's good to see you. I was sitting around taking my quiet time this morning and I just got a huge kind of feeling and urge that I needed to get out here and do something. Hopefully not with Buster trying to attack me. I was thinking about Floor's newest single, Invincible, and when I reacted to it, I didn't realize it was about PTSD, and that's my bad because it's right in the comments under the video. I was so excited that she released another video that I just came out and did it, and I didn't read that. But nonetheless, this song is about going through a fire and coming out the other side, right? And particularly PTSD. So I wanted to share with you just a little bit about my PTSD. I've had it for about 10 years now, and it's gone through different stages of manifestation. Sometimes it's very quiet, and I don't even realize it's there, and then other times it flares up, and this is how I wake up every morning. It takes about half the day to calm down, or for my hands to calm down. I don't necessarily feel that I'm not calm, but that's just one little way that it manifests itself. I don't want to ever pretend that I have PTSD like a veteran does, or somebody who's been through far worse than I have, but it is menacing, and it is real, and it is difficult at times. If you're especially sensitive to difficult topics, you might want to go ahead and click out, because I am going to talk about a suicide briefly, and I don't want anybody to get upset or triggered by that. I got PTSD 10 years ago when my first husband shot himself in the room right next to me and our children. And one of the kids and we didn't know what we had heard. I thought a chair had been knocked over onto the hardwood floor, and I was sleeping in my recliner at the time, so I didn't really know what was going on. But one of the kids and I went into the other room and discovered what had happened and found him. And we all got out of the house right away and went to our next door neighbors, including the dogs. But that was the most traumatic thing that I've ever experienced, and hopefully ever will experience. And also for my biological children. But symptoms have come and gone over the years, like I have told you. And this isn't just about my story, but about PTSD. If you know anyone who has it, it's just kind of an insidious thing. And there are so many good treatments for it nowadays that we didn't know about before. But the kids and I got into therapy right away, and also different medications if needed. Right after it happened, the child and I that found him took a medication. I think it's a blood pressure medication, and if you take it within 24 hours, it helps that memory not to imprint on your brain as much. Well, we got that 36 hours later. I don't know if it helped, but if we hadn't taken it, I don't know what would have happened either. So we tried that. I know I'm all over the place here. But through the years, let's talk about the manifestations. I never had the shaking until about 2 years ago. 2 years ago, a lot of things got a little crazy. with the family and different relationships, and then Wolfman's brother died. It was just a lot at one time. That's when I started with the shaking. And that was 8 years after the event. When we first moved here 5 years ago, it started acting up or flaring up, I think from the move and all of that going on. And the manifestation was panic and a little bit of paranoia. I didn't realize what that, I mean, I know what being paranoid is, but I didn't realize how that can kind of come out of nowhere. I was taking guitar lessons from a teacher that I'd known for a year, had no problem joking with him, learning. His wife is a good friend of mine, and they are, you know, their rooms are directly across from each other, so everybody's doors open. So I had no reason to be frightened of him, but suddenly one day I felt so concerned for my safety that I needed to get out of there. And then I talked to my therapist later, and he said that's kind of one of those symptoms of just extreme paranoia. So, but that didn't last very long. I got into a therapy that helps a lot of people with PTSD that I learned about, I guess, just online, but it's called EMDR. It's eye movement desensitization response. And what it does, it works with the left half and the right half of your brain, right? So the thinking and, the feeling part of your brain, emotions on one side, and the thinking and the physical response of your brain on the other side. So if something triggers you and makes you have like tightness in your chest and panic, then they do this eye movement exercise with you, and it calms the response that you're having in your body from the memory or the situation. And I'm getting ready to start it again. I was in it for a little over a year, and then I stopped going, but we found some place where we really like, and they do EMDR. So first appointment was yesterday, actually. And I know there are a lot of other treatments for it. That's just one that I know about that's helped me. If there's anything else you know about, let me know, because I think I've tried about everything. But I can tell you, if it weren't for these resources and the grace of God who covers over me every day from the time I was not even a thought to my parents until now, until I die, I wouldn't be here giving a testimony, my voice shaking a little bit, you know, at 7 in the morning, not even knowing how this is going to sound or come out. But he's always covered over me and protected me and my family, and we've come through to the other side of these circumstances. Because even though I show you in a very transparent way some of the effects that this has had on me, you cannot deny, or I cannot say that without in the same breath saying where I am now compared to where I was then, and what I was able to accomplish and get through during those times, and the help that God sent my way over and over and over and over again, and covered over the children as well. They all have amazing stories of difficulty and redemption, and they share with other people. I know one of my daughters, only in 7th grade at the time, there was an accidental shooting at her school. Well, off campus, some boys were playing and doing target practice, and one of them shot a friend by accident and killed him. So there are a lot of kids down in the guidance counselor's office who were very upset about it. And my daughter went down, and the counselor knew her and knew her past and said, you know, are you okay? Do you need to talk? And she said, no, I came to see if I can help any of the people here. And she sat and talked with student after student, and the guidance counselor came to me later with tears in his eyes. He said, I've never seen anything like it. Well, how could that have happened? Had she not been through what she had? And if she was not in the process of continuing to heal? And that's just one little story, you know, of people who have been helped by others who have gone through difficulty. So do it, you know, help someone. And what does that look like? To me, it's the sweet comments I get on this channel and some of the encouraging words I get from my friends and family. So if you know anyone with PTSD, just read up on it, learn about it, and then, you know, just be there for them. And if not, there's always someone struggling in one way or another, and we have no idea, right? Even sometimes if there are friends and family and they don't share it for whatever reason. I'm talking a lot about acquaintances and people that come across our path, and you wonder if you should say something to them, but then you walk away instead. Well, maybe stop and say it, even if it's something silly like, man, those are, or you think it's silly, like, man, those are the coolest tennis shoes I've seen in a long time. It's not a big deal, but it's a little thing that can lift someone up. So I'm trying to think, you know, this morning I had so many things I wanted to tell you. And I get out here and half of them are gone. I am so thankful that, at least in America, mental health has, the need for mental health has lost its stigma in so many ways compared to the way it was years and years ago. You just didn't talk about it, or if you told anyone, it was someone you trusted, because otherwise people would think you're crazy. You know, if you were on medication, if you went to counseling, and I think that society was a lot worse for the wear. And the mental health system right now is struggling, at least in America. There's just not enough doctors for the number of people that need help. And a lot of people financially aren't able to get it, or they're waiting for a spot for an appointment that might be 2 months away, and at that point they're in crisis, and so why even make it? You know, why even make an appointment for 2 months? That's not going to make me feel better now, type of thing. And that's just the way it is when you get in your head with such big, huge clouds hanging over you that you think will never break. You just feel hopeless. So my prayer is for the mental health system all over the world to reach out to people, because just because you have mental health issues, number one, you're not alone. It's probably 90% of us have some type of mental health difficulty or struggle, whether we want to admit it to anyone else or not. So it's not uncommon to have panic attacks or excessive anxiety that makes you isolate, or depression. You know, it's not just being sad or lazy. It's a physical, neurological thing, you know. And so many of you have shared with me that you have similar struggles, and so I'm sharing it with you. I do. But on a hopeful note, the worst days, I was always covered over, and I didn't know it then, but I look back now and see how much help came to me and how much endurance from other people's kindnesses. Other people's kindnesses. There was a lady after the suicide who reached out to me and her husband had suicided with her young kids not far away. And so that was what a wonderful thing to have somebody like that reach out to me, because I was in the thick of it and she was, you know, a number of years past it, so she had some perspective. But she offered to come over and clean my kitchen for me. And at that time, I wasn't proud. I'll take any help I can get. I've got 3 traumatized kids and me, and no career, and any work I could do, I would have to leave the kids, and that would cost more to pay for that than me working. And they were too traumatized for me to leave them for an hour, much less a whole night or day at work. But she came over and she helped me. She talked to me and cleaned out my fridge, and then she left me with her phone number, and I never saw her again. But I knew I could reach out to her, and I'll never forget that kindness. You know, within an hour, 2 hours tops of that gunshot, the ladies in my neighborhood put together a page where you can sign up to send meals to someone or bring meals to someone. And they had 2 months worth of meals already signed up for and provided for me and the kids. And they brought food to us every day. And a big cooler on the front porch full of sodas and cold drinks, an ice cooler. I know it's silly, it just makes me smile because the kids and I loved just going out on the front porch and grabbing a soda. We didn't drink a lot of it, we loved it, but I didn't keep a lot of it in the house because it was like a treat, you know. But that was wonderful. And within 2 hours, my brother was far away. My sister was 4 hours away. I don't know, maybe within 4 hours, they were both at the house handling things and helping me. And when I didn't have any answers, I would just look to one of them and they'd give it, you know, to all of the officials and the people who needed information. My dad had passed by then, and my brother stepped in, and my sister and their spouses, and they took care of me and the kids. And I was just so fortunate in a terribly, terribly unfortunate situation. I was so fortunate. And about 6 months later, I met Jeff, and I said, you know, take it slow with everything going on. And he just immediately wanted to marry me. Like the first time I met him, he said something about it. First time. Okay, guy, that's a little crazy. But as you can see, we did end up together almost 10 years since we met this year. So more redeeming, you know, not always perfect father, stepfather, but a father to children who needed one. Not their father, but a second father. And I wanted to be that for his girls, who are now my girls too. And I have been far from perfect stepmom, believe me. Oh my gosh. I've made amends to the girls for my bad parts, and I love them so much, and they're mine, they love me. So that's another gift, right? I always wanted daughters. I got 2 sons, finally got a daughter. So happy to finally have one. And then God gave me 2 more. So how about that? He's blessed me so abundantly. Oh, and I asked him, please, please don't take my stepmom, who was the only grandma they ever knew. She married my dad after my mama passed. But she's their grams because they love her very much, and she is a second mom to me. But older. Dad had passed, and I said, please don't take my stepmom or the dogs anytime soon, because I didn't want the children to have to go through another traumatic death. And well, Boo is still here, you can see. And Zoe, our other dog at the time, lived until last year. She was 15. So God didn't take them. I prayed over them all the time. And the kids have had many years with them, as had Wolfman, so they got a stepdad too. And Mom, my stepmom, I think we got 5 more years with her. She passed at 91. So, nice, right? Lots of blessings. And think about it, last year, in January, I had to quit my job, and Jeff had had a memory loss 6 months back. So for 6 months, he didn't remember anything. And he, one afternoon, looked at the, it happened one afternoon in January, he looked at his phone, and he said, "How can it be January 2022? And I said, "Because it is. I don't know. How am I supposed to answer that?" And he did not remember. He's like, "I don't remember anything for the past 6 months." So, of course, that was frightening. And he's a very difficult patient, very difficult to get him to go to the hospital. But I forced his ass in, and then we thought, you know, let's start a YouTube channel, because he's on short-term disability till they figure out what's going on. Well, he wanted to, I didn't. And we started it in March, and we're still here. And it's not a lot of money, but doing this for fun and something to help as Wolfman recovered pays us about $300 a month, $300 US. So that's groceries, you know, or the light bill or something like that. It's nice. Yeah, it's really been a blessing. Not just, we still do it, but the financial blessing, I'm not going to turn it down, right? And then we got to know all of you, and he was doing better, and in September it happened again. We still don't know why. So what did we do? We came back to the channel, and it helped him start remembering things. I mean, he's still not right. I mean, not well, and not right. But music and our channel have been great things for him to do while he can't do other things. And you're gracious. When he forgets things, you're so gracious. And that's wonderful. Very kind. So I'm so grateful for this channel. I think God put it in our lives for a reason. And I truly do care about all of you. It sounds ridiculous because I don't know you, and other people have spoken to me and said, "Okay, so your friends are on YouTube that you've never met, but you call them your friends." Yeah. Some of you I really do, because you keep in touch. But yeah, I do. I have real life friends, you know, with skin on who can, but I have less of those than you, obviously. So anyway, I don't know if any of this made any sense. I just I hope it did come together in one way or another, just by divine intervention. And I'm gonna go in, get some more coffee, try to get Jeff to get out of bed and do some stuff today, because he's had a few down days, and see what my son is up to. That's another blessing. I never thought he'd move here in a million years. Why come to Arkansas? You got a job with Amazon, been up in South Carolina your whole life. But he is, and it's right at a time where I might need help taking care of Jeff in one way or another. And now I have it. I don't have to worry about it. So, one more blessing, that regardless of the situation and the circumstances, I can look at everything that's been done for me in all of my years and know that I can come through to the other side with help from above. And whatever your beliefs are, there's help out there. It doesn't have to be my God. It doesn't have to be my definition of a higher power, but something, someone, some spiritual connection is out there, and it will help if you just ask and let it. All right, so yeah, I'm good for now, and thank you guys for tuning in, the ones that did, and I hope if anybody needs help or resources, seek them out, comment down below, I'll help you seek them out. I've got a couple of friends on the channel who will help you seek them out, who are big advocates for mental health. So I'm just going to say be blessed, and instead of don't hurt anybody, how about help somebody? Help somebody. All right, bye guys.